Hello guys and welcome to Yarelina's Reborn Nursery. Here I am with Mrs. Journey, and for those who are new, Journey is my full body silicone baby girl, and she was sculpted and poured by Lori Sullivan Roy, and she was beautifully brought to life by Cheryl Martin from Chamar Silicone's Nursery, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to put that in the screen. I'm going to talk to you today about customs, and I want to give this little girl a fake milk bottle that is completely sealed because she's not a drinking wet baby, and I'm going to put some lubricant because I don't want to stress her paint in her mouth. So well guys, I am a firm defender of customs because if I weren't allowed to make a custom, I would not have Journey and some of my dolls because I did payment plans with them. So I'm a firm defender of customs. And when I am talking about customs, I'm referring of a custom order, or maybe it can be a layaway plan too. We can think about that. They are similar. So when I started, the community was getting very large, so people weren't, the problem is that people is not keeping up the word, and they are giving up their layaways. They are making commitments, and then they don't want to, to fulfill what they said they were going to do. So from the artist point of view, it's very hard to have a customer that have a baby on hold there and you're not obtaining any money. So it's hard because you work a lot. These babies are very hard work, so you need to be paid. Everyone needs to be paid because you have bills and some things to pay. So artists want a single payment, and that's awesome because when you receive a single payment, you feel so free that you can do so much with your money. The hard work you invest to do a baby is now getting you this reward. But I have to say also that for collectors, it's very hard to afford babies. Even reborns are very expensive right now because materials are going up. So that's the truth. So collectors right now needs to be very wise because now artists are not willing to do layaways. Some are doing layaways or payment plans or whatever you want to call it, or customs with customers, with returning customers, because they had a lot of bad experience with new customers that said something and they do not fulfill what they said, and they went out and speak about this artist because sell the doll. But if you do not do what you said you will do, it's a problem. The artist needs that money. So from the collector point of view, it's very hard to have a doll fully paid in one single payment. So the more likely thing to do is a layaway or a custom order that allows you to pay little by little. And that's how most collectors do their work, the collection. build their collections. Um, what artists can do right now, I think that artists can continue bringing layaways and and costumes when you disclose things and you receive a down payment. Because if you don't receive a down payment, you're going to lose money, and that down payment has to be non-refundable. I'm so sorry, that's the truth. The artist needs to buy materials, and when you said, you know, I cannot pay the baby and I need the money back, that's so, I think is so, there are situations that are really serious and big, but you make that commitment, and I think I think that is not looking good. Let's say that way, to not offend anybody, because I know that some people have situations, serious situations, and they need to give up. But I think it's better to say to the artist, you know, I give you upfront this amount, and this is what is happening right now, but I'm going to do my best to pay off my baby, and I need more time. It's better to hear that you need more time than to hear you're giving up and want the money back. I think for me, it's ugly. It's ugly. It looks bad when you said that to an artist. You know, I need the money back, because that artist maybe spend money, because that's why we work. Because if we were people that doesn't need the money, we can paint just for ourselves, or maybe we can gift babies everywhere. So we need the money, we need to pay off things, and some or majority of artists are also collectors, so they maybe are paying off babies or whatever they need to do. So I think it's very, very, very serious to do that. Another thing that I have to say as an artist is, if you make numbers, you know if you can pay. If I make numbers, I know how much I can pay weekly or monthly, whatever, and I know exactly how much time I need to pay off that baby. So maybe I can make numbers and say, you know, I need 2 weeks, and that's great. But sometimes I make numbers and said, you know, I can pay that baby in 3 months, you know, month by month or week by week, whatever, but in 3 months. That's the time I need. So you have to calculate the price of the baby, and you can see if you can pay the baby off. If you cannot, please do not do it, because you're getting a bad reputation there, and this artist that you made that and give up the way or whatever is going to say to other artists, you know, this person do this, and you're going to have a damaged reputation. So it's better to make numbers and say, you know, I cannot afford it, thank you so much for your time, and that's it, move on. If you really want a baby, you know, as collectors, we want the baby right now, because I know that. And the thing is that sometimes I said, you know, I need a little way of 3 months, and I pay off the baby in a month or a month and a half, because I want my baby. I want my baby fast, and that's the motivation to pay off the baby, is because I want the baby. But really, 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 the best way to go is to save money. Save some money, and with money in hand, you can say, you know, I want to have this amount upfront to this baby to reserve it, and maybe I can pay in 2 weeks or a month. You know, be reasonable too, because you cannot expect that all artists can do the same. For example, when I started, I have an estimated date to the artist start my baby. So I knew I need to pay off the baby before she start. So that's the way I like to be, because yeah, and I wasn't an artist. I think I didn't paint by that time. So I said, she said October, I need to pay off the baby before October. So if you are making a custom baby, don't wait until the date is there and the artist start the baby and she's finishing the baby and you are not making any payments. That's not reasonable. Reasonable. You have to try to be like almost getting all the baby pay off, or very near to. Or maybe you can pay off the baby before she starts the baby. That's a good way to go too. With people, I was talking to someone that asked me in Facebook, and she told me, I love your babies. I really want a baby from you. How much is it? What is the range you have? When I talked to her and said the prices, she was very honest and said, I cannot afford it, but I really love your work. And it really touched me because I'm a collector. I was there too. I was, wanting babies that I could not afford if it's a single payment. So I told her, I can make a custom for you, and you can bring me the kit, and when you're almost ready to or very close to pay off the baby, I can start a baby. Why that way? Because if I make a baby and then you say, I don't have the money, I need time, but I have the baby ready, waiting. I work a whole month for complete that baby, and then I don't have any money. So you should be paying off the baby, trying to pay the most you can. So when the artist can start your baby, you are ready to, in the matter of the artist finishing the baby, you are finishing the payoff. It's better that than making, look ugly and said, I have to give up my layaway or my custom. And I repeat, because I know there are serious situations and unexpected situations that needs to us have the money for another thing. That's the truth. But in the most cases are not reasons that are not that big, and people are disorganized. Let's say if you organize yourself and make numbers, you know how much you need to pay off the baby. And if you need 6 months, be clear about that. I can pay this amount weekly or monthly, and I could pay the baby off in 6 months. That's better to hear. If it's the truth that you say, no, I can pay in 3 months, and then after 3 months you are looking for more time and more time, that doesn't look good. So but again, I'm a collector, and I know this is a very expensive hobby, but you have to be realistic about your situation financially. And if you cannot, you cannot. That's the thing here. You have to be realistic. So why artists don't want to make customs? People giving up their customs or wanting to be refunded, and artists can defend themselves. I think making that, like an agreement where you put, you need to pay this monthly, and you have to do a non-refundable deposit of blah blah amount. In way, artists do not want to do that because they don't want to be bothered like that. That's a problem. And when you have a person complaining, you said this or you said that, and it's a headache. So artists want simple transactions. You want the baby, this is the amount. Do you want the baby? I can, where you can send the money. Okay, thank you. That's it. I will send the baby. That's the kind of situation that an artist wants, because that other thing that I told you, making agreements and waiting for people, trying to be, as gentle as you can. But the reality is that artists also are working and they need to be paid off. And that's why artists don't want headaches. That's an headache. Be paying off in 6 months is a headache. So when you're doing a layaway that long, you need to be a person that is well known, or at least is your friend or something like that. But it's very hard to have a layaway that long. I said with Journey, I am very grateful because her artists make this. I was new, so I was asking for information because I didn't know the prices, and I really wanted silicone baby. And you know what happened? I reached to a couple of artists, and they were like, "This is the price, and no layaway, blah 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 blah." And I would never have a baby. I would never have a silicone baby. Then I watched Umbrella Beans Nursery, if I'm not mistaken, is the name of her YouTube. And she was making a box opening from a baby from Cheryl Martin. So I was very impressed by the baby, and I reached out the artist. And for my surprise, she explained to me, because I was new, she explained to me how to get the sculpt. She put me in contact with the sculptor. She explained to me about her layaway, and I put this baby. I reserved her space. I think was 9 months. So, but I didn't pay her in 9 months. I paid her sculpt and sent her to Cheryl, and also the sculptors. I want to say that too. For example, Claire Taylor have babies. And for making the baby affordable for some collectors that cannot have the budget to buy the baby from one payment, she has, you can split the payments in two, you can have a layaway. So there are options to afford a silicone baby the right way and not be, I need to be refunded and damage your name. The thing was that Journey can be, her blanket can be split into payments, but I have the money for the blanket, so I bought the blanket, and she sent it directly to the artist. The thing is that after that, I was paying off a baby, and then I used the money for making all the reborn thing. I bought the paints and kits and everything. I start painting. And the first one was a gift for my grandma. The second one was very cheap, so I didn't count that as a sold baby. And I bought more materials with that money, and I start paying her off this baby on, if I'm not mistaken, September, October, like that. I'm not sure, but I'm going to check that. And if you said October, November, December, and January, 3 months, I pay her off in 3 months. I would never think I would do that. But the pressure that I have, I do that commitment. I need to work. I work like crazy for this baby. But also have to say that Cheryl gave me that, that opportunity. And I couldn't believe she was paid off when she was going to start a baby. So I was beyond happy that I could accomplish that. And I would be forever grateful for that opportunity. And, we as artists have to think about collectors that are sincere, that are not making this like, to some people is a headache, that's the truth. But some collectors, majority of them are serious people, and you have to look at case by case. I have a bad experience with custom, but was my fault. Was my fault because I didn't told her, you know, you do have to do a down payment, like send me this amount of money. I just was like buying the kid. She sent me the money to buy the kid and she didn't pay anything. So I should disclose that, you know, you need to pay off the baby before I start, or be near to pay off your baby when I start the baby. That was my fault, and I have to say that. But I'm not, I am taking I took customs, and people were, you know, paying very good, and when the baby is finished, the baby was paid off or near to be paid off. So not every collector or every person that reached to you for a layaway is a bad person, and it's a headache. It's a case by case, and you have to disclose, you know, what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And if you are taking a payment, you have to say, you know, this is a non-refundable down payment. If you give up your layaway, this is not refundable. And that way you can breathe better and make happy people. You know, sometimes I see babies that I really love, but I could not in the moment have the baby. And maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in a month, I could have the money. But sometimes I don't have the opportunity because people mess up with the artist. So if people continue to mess up things, artists will not take custom. And this is a very serious thing because you know, this is a very expensive hobby and it's complicated, but it's a case by case. I think you cannot say, you know, I'm not doing this because all collectors are doing this or that. No, are serious collectors there that fulfill the work, and some people do not. So you cannot generalize. Well, folks, I want to change journey, but I'm going to do that in another video because I have a special dress, and also I have a video to show the store where I purchased the dress. And I wanted to do a matching outfit with Journey and her sister that is coming soon, but I'm not willing to wait a long time, so I want to dress her, but in another video because this is too long. So thank you so much. If you're still to the end, thank you so much, because this is a long video and I hope you like it. And if you like the content of this channel, please subscribe and you can be notified. And I'm saying that because 80% of my viewers are not subscribed, so please subscribe for you to not miss any videos. And also, if you like this content, please like. So see you until the next video. Bye bye, guys.